Alright, so you're gonna be right now starting with the match already. Started slightly surprised me here, as it the timer has apparently already run out for them. So sorry about that. But we do have another match on our hands. It's going to be right now the famed Sensuy versus Mikahei. And well, we're definitely glad that we are gonna be finally seeing them matching each other, as it was taking a bit of time. They should have been originally playing on Wednesday. But in the end, they are gonna be right now set up with their first map of the match, the Borderlands, and the civilizations are very curious. Not exactly for Sensuy, obviously, because he is an Oranos main and he likes to be playing him fairly often, whereas for the opponent, going for the Kronos is fairly curious. I'm gonna be definitely expecting some kind of shenanigans from him. I'm really thinking that Mikahei is gonna be prepared for his opponent, as he is the type of player that will be wanting to definitely prove himself. And Sensuy, well, he kinda is just interested in showing his supremacy as the Atlantean player. So as the Oranos, probably will be expecting something similar to what we have seen in the previous years when he was actively playing, and therefore expecting some decent skill with not all that many economical upgrades, which is usually the case. But that also is true when he's playing different civilization. With the Atlanteans, probably not all that much like difficult, especially on a land map like this. As well, nonetheless, there's gonna be already a pretty good combination of gold and TC for him available at the bottom side, so that's gonna be certainly helpful. You can see they are very curiously scouting next to the same places, both of them. There and there. I mean, like, where's the third one? Okay, there's the third one. They are really in, like, almost the same places all across the map. That's actually fairly curious all across. But, well, nonetheless, there's gonna be, for example, even a relic for a Black Lotus. Better village gold get, well, farming. 10% is not a small amount. That is basically an extra upgrade, so that could be making a bit of a difference in the economies. But well, I'm definitely curious if maybe there's gonna be even some kind of crush from App, aka Mikahei. So far it doesn't have the resources, so it seems to me it's gonna be fairly standard upgrade and update time. But looking at the interesting position of the temple in between the stragglers here, I'm gonna be really curious to see if he's gonna be attempting some temple transport somewhere about like here. Maybe on the Huntress, you can see the gold mines also. Fairly kind of like safe-ish for Sensuy. Plenty of them. For example, even here at the very back of the base. It's gonna be interesting position for him all across. Whereas for the opponent, we so far don't see all that much of a scouting. So you can definitely tell that App, aka Mikahei, is a whole lot more interested in basically playing aggressively in the early stages of the game. Sensuy is kinda expecting it as well. And considering the matchup, it kinda isn't all that unexpected, because you would be assuming that the Kronos will be really wanting to just drop the temple somewhere and go for a bit of shenanigans with the Prometheans. At the same time, it's against an Ati, and therefore it's not gonna be that necessarily effective. And he's gonna be advancing at about even before 4 minutes, like 350. His opponent is gonna be advancing even faster. Okay, we're gonna be in for a bit of fun. So I'm thinking that Mikahei tried to surprise the opponent with a fast advance, and Sensuy is apparently going like opposite crash. Like rush. I don't know how to actually shorten it properly. But this is gonna be definitely unusual. Quite completely and utterly. Thank you very much, Skadi, for the hosting there. Hope that everybody is gonna be enjoying this kinda rare matchup. Yeah, glad that it's gonna be finally happening. Yeah, as well, there's gonna be now Prometheus already in. Probably a bit of a scare for App. What the hell is going on? How is Oranos advancing that quickly and why? As there are gonna be the triple oracles to the top side. So far the opponent is not transporting the temple, and of course at this point he's not even gonna be doing that all that much. So there we go. It's gonna be of course advancing through the same. That's gonna be counter barracks times 2. So probably going heavy into Kerbaliste, I'm expecting, as the Kronos with the bonus. And for the opponent it's gonna be apparently so far Turmas with the temple, and I mean, like, Turmas against the Kerbaliste with a few Prometheans, that might be kind of working. You can see the auto queue on the Prometheans is definitely there as they're meeting by the campfire. And well, what else? So far it's gonna be only a few Turmas before we probably get the economy going, because obviously that's always a bit of an issue. The gold is kinda fine, it doesn't seem to be all that much of a problem, as the oracles are gonna be finally finding the villages and gonna be probably heading for the gold. And that's extremely important, because obviously if he wants to be even switching, for example, into Kerbaliste, it's gonna be incredibly expensive. But nope, he's going for catapulties. Interesting decision right there. Yeah, I'm thinking it's maybe a bit of a desperation, because he's realizing that his special strategy is not exactly going to be going according to plan. And so far I really have no idea what to expect here, because this is highly unusual. You don't see it in community games at all, and in tournament games quite frankly not even either. But that's what's actually making those tournaments a whole lot more interesting, because suddenly the players are gonna be trying something different to beat their opponents, and it's also making for a very interesting matchup here, as you already kinda expected that to be quite a heavy battle between those two Atlantean players. And we are definitely looking forward to Sensuy potentially showing if he has already reached back the level of skill that he had a few years ago, as he has been playing for quite a bit already. So he probably has unrusted well enough, but Mikahei is definitely no pushover, and he does have the skill to potentially punish any kind of small mistakes. So let's see. So far the game is really developing into a bit of a stalemate, as I'm thinking that Sensuy really took quite a bit of wind from the sails of Mikahei. He really wasn't expecting that 330 advance I'm expecting, because that was really kind of out there a bit. You don't expect that from Oranos, but well, still a good idea. And you can see at this point this is gonna be also potentially screwing up the echo of especially the Kronos I'm expecting. I'm expecting a lot of things right now, should be stopping repeating that word. As well, nonetheless, so far we don't see any kind of economic guild from either side, so well, the economies are gonna be a bit slower, but of course it's gonna be the same on both sides. I'll be really liking to see the other relic potentially, because this one on the right for the farming rate is gonna be important a bit later, because maybe there's gonna be some kind of military relic that could be helpful. Well, we don't know. So far you can see not even any kind of army coming up from app. You can see his resources are not entirely all at high, population limit is the same. But yeah, well, the echo is gonna be similar, just a bit more favor, because apparently Mikahei is not all that interested in dropping too many Prometheans. Right now I'm gonna be getting at least the second one. That's gonna be making 3 altogether. With right now switching into Murmilos finally. You can see the opponent is gonna be continuing with the Turmas, getting slightly housed on the gold here. Yeah, you're not passing through Kawi in there. But much more importantly, yeah, gonna be just probably waiting for what Sensuy is gonna be doing, because he's leading on the score, that's kinda nice. But the switch into Murmilos might be a bit difficult for him. But well, he's gonna be all about the Prometheans there. And looking at the numbers that finally are going a bit up also for app, it probably doesn't have to be all that difficult. And it's gonna be all about proper usage, exactly what the Shockwave. This was looking like a pretty solid one. And of course, all those hero turmas are up, and there is the Kero Ballista. Finally, he is here. You can see he's gonna be onto auto queue, and this is gonna be probably quite hard for Sensuy to deal with, unless he wins this battle somehow convincingly, which doesn't seem that out of the question completely, because the battle is going really well for him. The high amount of Prometheans, ever so slightly, is apparently working really well, as we do have a bit of a hiccup, apparently, unfortunately. Well, we are here. So hopefully, this is not going bad for Sensuy, so hopefully everything is alright. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, definitely, because we also want all the recorded games for the other streamers, so they can be enjoying it, Kronos, JJ, and Boyd, because they certainly were looking forward to this matchup as well, I'm assuming. This is one of those that you are expecting at least a bit of drama around it. And scheduling was only the phase 1, I'm expecting. As well, at this point, this is gonna be, of course, forcing Sensuy to go a bit back, even though he did win the battle, but he needs to be reacting to all the Kero Ballistae, and probably by splitting the army somehow, or maybe at least spreading the formation, because he just needs to be limiting the damage dealt to him, of course. Okay, so we're just moving into a bit of hunt. Nothing much more important than that for the opponent. He is also right now just having a bit of hunt, and still a few Kahuis next to the base, so he's gonna be getting a bit more open to raiding. And that's something that apparently Sensuy is gonna be exactly trying to use, probably aiming for the gold, at least so slightly. Seems to be. But so far what is important is that basically blue hasn't found the extra gold being completely safe. And maybe there's gonna be a gold here. Yeah, there it is. As the gold mine, the safer one, because obviously Sensuy himself is having plenty of safe gold mines himself. That's gonna be a very good choice of the villager, not the one closest to the manor. It was a nice little micro in there by Sensuy. And good thinking. So at this point, with the amount of Murmilos, the battles are gonna be getting a bit tricky, because combination of Murmilos with the Kero Ballistae is kinda bad for the Turmas. As the Turmas, while they can still escape from the battlefield, and they can potentially like hit and run, once the Murmilos get into them, well, the slaughter pretty much begins. It definitely would be at that point. Well, nonetheless, all right now here, this is gonna be Manor exactly for the gold mine that he needs to be securing as well. So you're just gonna be keeping the top one a bit later. And he's getting raided on the gold, well played, and without the manor being too nearby, he's probably gonna have to even run into the TC. So this is actually very well played by Sensuy so far. Controlling the map, bit of scouting right now by App, and he potentially knows where to send what. He's having 2 Turmas. That's exactly right now the problem for him, because Mikahei, by the choice of units, is gonna be inevitably switching into full-on defense, because he probably doesn't want to be leaving the Kero Ballistae there just alone, without anything. You can see, oh, well, that was close. But next turn, she's gonna be dead. And therefore it's gonna be resulting into Sensuy basically controlling the game, and probably be waiting for him as... Okay, that was underestimated by App, it seems like. It's gonna be probably resulting into game being pretty much in Sensuy's hands, because right now he's having Raiden there, binding a lot of army, binding not enough army on the right flank with plenty of Turmas. So far this is a massive Turma battle against whatever the opponent is making. But as soon as the Kero Ballistae are gonna be in way too high numbers, you can see they actually switched off though, then even like basically the numbers that he has are not going to be good enough. And that might be bringing in at least a bit of danger. And problem is that Prometheans are not exactly all that great against Kero Ballistae, because they don't have all that armor that you could be wanting. Because the Pierce is only at 25, so therefore the Kero Ballistae really do kind of slaughter them. There's gonna be one extra villager there. So that second citizen right now for Mikahei destroyed. On the left side killed by the Walrus. Mikahei unfortunately wasn't able to pay attention. Another villager dead. So that's 3... It was 1, 2, 3, 4, like about 5, I don't know. Right now losing count of this. And that's heading into complete and utter disaster for App, because Sensuy is gonna be getting even a second TC on top of it. Is he switching into echo upgrades? Nope, gonna be holding true to what he's usually used to, playing without echo ups. But usually doesn't stop him from performing really well and winning quite important battles at the same time as well. Alright, so this is not looking too great for the blue player, even though he's gonna be getting at least some echo upgrades, maybe, if he can get the resources for that. You can see right now Sensuy already looking at the heroic cage because he's already popped. So really well played, but the army is getting slightly scary, I'm thinking, for him. He needs the heroic cage as soon as possible. Because as soon as the battle is gonna be going with the Turmas and against this, then he's screwed. He kinda know that. And he's probably just right now buying time. And exactly because of the unit choices, even though the Turmas are gonna be making it slightly different, App really is on the defensive, and that's kinda what is costing him and allowing Sensuy to be, even with suboptimal units at this point, controlling the game all around and for the longest time. Well, so there's gonna be at least a second TC right now for App. He's gonna be probably having this gold reasonably safe. Otherwise, there are 2 gold mines at the back with plenty of Huns, so potentially this TC also could have been helpful. And Scout and Oracle LOS. Yeah, so neither relic is exactly all that important. We have though seen that the relic for the farming has come for Sensuy. You can see he's even switching into Murmilos himself with having 1 military barracks hidden behind here. I wonder if it's purposefully hidden, or if it was just because he was having villages nearby. Don't exactly know, but second TC is up. You can see Thea is 50% there. There's even Economical Guild. Okay, so you're gonna be seeing some echo ups with hand axe for both of the players. But, you know, the Radiant right now coming forward, dangerous for this villager, but nobody else is apparently gonna be dying here just at this point in the game. Okay, so here we go. This is gonna be right now Sensuy just waiting for exactly secondary army right now coming from the left. Unfortunately for him, he kinda underestimated Mikahei, it seems to me. As yeah, he wasn't playing stupidly, of course, guarding the villages on the TC. That's gonna get finished, but there is already in. You can see that App is having no chance whatsoever to advance, and therefore it's gonna be already called a GG. And this was one hell of an unusual at the game. Very unusual. 350 advanced from Kronos, alright, but 35 from the Oranos. Definitely out there, and you can see it was really well played, since we probably prepared as well for what is going to come. And damn, one hell of a 30-minute game. Well done. And apparently Turmas with a few Prometheans. Definitely solid combination, if you know how to use it, and Sensuy definitely did. Let's check into the post-game. We should be, yep, we are, resumed into the game room, so they can start whenever they are ready. So, of course, to the top, we are gonna be looking at Sensuy really kinda owning this game. You can see the resources on the wood almost the same, but otherwise, with App losing the villages a bit later in that's probably accounting for most of the difference. Because both for, yeah, you can see the 5 dead villages, the difference in there. Otherwise, they were going for pretty much the same things, and so you're looking at, well, unit skill pretty much the same here, even though the military count was a bit higher for Sensuy, but just the complete difference that was in the types of units, and didn't exactly work out for Ep too well. You can see the advances, really. That's something you don't see every day. Definitely not. Same amount of Prometheans in the end, but need to be clicking through quickly here. Yep, the massacre. As they are already gonna be starting into another one. GG.